Okay, we're gonna do a little test. I believe we did this air layer about 6 weeks ago. This is on the Cuban red, the one that's fruited multiple times. And we want it to be able to, the reason we do an air layer is so you get the parent plant and you get fruit on it immediately. So I've got a couple here. I'm gonna test a theory. Now, before, when I took the other fig off, the honey fig, and when I took the guava off, the leaves just drooped immediately. I've tried to put them in shade. I'm gonna do a little test with two of these. I'm gonna take 2 air layers. One, I'm gonna cut all the leaves off except for the top couple. The other, I'm gonna leave all the leaves on, put them both in shade. I'll report back and see what happens. So when I talk about community research, this is part of it. I'd love to hear your experience. All right, so if you can see in here, look at that. All right, so got one here. So if we look, there we are. Nice big old new plant. And if you look, some beautiful, beautiful roots there. I feel like we could make this even bigger, but looks like guava is pretty easy to air layer. So what I'm gonna do after this, I'm gonna take a bunch of these. I'm gonna go put one here, put them all over and just see if I can't get a ton of different air layers. Roots are already poking out of there. Okay. But we'll have that little research and we'll know for next time whether or not, because I haven't seen anybody do that online, but I mean, to me, it just makes sense where it's like, okay, well, it's struggling to keep those leaves alive. It doesn't need all of them. It can produce new leaves. All right. And maybe even this string we tied up a little bit too tight. That's another lesson to be learned. But here we go. We're going to take this off carefully. I might even give it just a little water just to, but I mean, look at that. This is, I don't think it's more than 6 weeks. I can check on the exact date, but you can see it's got really nice root system on it. I mean, look at that. So I've got in here just some sterile potting medium, some, it's called fox fruit, fox something. All right, I'm gonna, I don't know whether or not, I think it's all right. I don't need to spread out the roots. My concern is, like, I'd go to spread them out and they go break. So here's what I'm gonna do. Get some more of this. All right. So we've got this here. And maybe even just to cheapen it or not using so much of this, we could use sand, we could use wood chips on the top, we could use rocks. All right, so get it nice and wet. Just keep that nice and moist. All right, so that's the first one. Giant air layer. Now, we're gonna do the same thing, only we're gonna cut all the leaves off. That's a lot of leaves to cut off, but we'll see. And I wonder, I think what I could do, I could just continuously keep air layering these. I wonder if you're old enough, if you're my age, you remember how we used to copy tapes and record songs from the radio. And so when we did that, a lot of times what would happen is after you recorded on one tape, say you recorded the Fat Boys on a tape and Run DMC, then you tried to put Anthrax on the tape because you stopped listening to rap and you wanted to listen to I'm the Man. Well, what would happen is that tape would get weaker and its recording abilities wouldn't be as strong. So I wonder if it's the same with this, but let's see. We're going to report back. I'm not going to take all of them off. I think that might be overkill, but I'll take quite a few. My guess is what's going to happen even, it's going to shoot out more stems on the bottom. We'll see though, this is a pretty significantly sized plant if all goes well. All right, so we got that. We got, again, pretty nice little, I mean, look at that. You can see that. That's about 6 weeks, like I said. So this one has some ants in there. I don't think we need to do such a tight job. That might have been a little bit of overkill. Anyway, you learn along the way. That's what the community research is. Nuts how much. How much root we got in there. I want to get all the plastic off, but there we go. Alright, and I'm going to spray this because I want to get those ants off of this. But I mean, look at that. Pretty simple. About 6 weeks. Here. All right. So I will report back, maybe say a month from now. That work for y'all? Thanks.